world is a world of possibility and freedom. Although it is, and perhaps has always been fashionable to groan that true art is dying out. But you know what? That can never happen. Because as long as there are people who want to create, there will always be artists. The Artist Press is here again. My name is Tolulokwe Lamidi. Welcome. Emeka Ilechukwu holds a higher national diploma in fine arts from the Institute of Management and Technology, Enugu. He was the best graduating student in the sculpture session in 1996. He uses various mediums to express his robust and creative ideas drawn from careful observations of things happening around him.
Emeka has been drawing, sculpting and painting as far back as he can remember. His motivation comes largely from inner vision, desire to solve problems, and his unshakable belief in the master art, the designer and creator of the whole universe. He has an insatiable appetite for finesse and an enthusiastic devotee to the present-future tense, which is modernism in art. His works exist in the spiritual realm of myths. He uses ideas and thoughts without destroying the link, thus creating the illusion of motion. Although his works may be geometric and monochromatic, they reverberate and exude life.
Art is self-expression, and for me, that is it. That is exactly what I do. I express myself, what I feel, my experiences, my insights, visions, my beliefs, everything. I express with mediums I equally delight in: paint, wood, metal, and all that. So that's what art means to me. I'm a contemporary artist. Over time, my art has evolved, and I've discovered myself. I have the style I work with. If you notice my paintings, I use thread, a lot of textures on it. It shows, because I love textures. And texture, when you have texture, there is a kind of things will be gripping together. So for me, I add textures to my work. Then my woodwork, you see a lot of deep engraving, carving, touching, hole sawing, and all that. So my art is very contemporary. I do quite a lot of abstraction, then stylization, and all that. So I think I've actually come to define a style for myself. Though I've never given it a name. Maybe I'll call the style my name. But I've defined my style, and people recognize my work anywhere they see it, all over the world. Africa is beautiful. Africa, we have a lot of stories to tell. All those experiences I had when I was growing up, I put it down. So when you interact with my work, immediately you see those things in there, and I will tell you more of my background, my upbringing, and all that, my experiences. So definitely my work tells that story. My art talks most time, dwells on the positives in my environment, in my surrounding, in the world. I am not, you will rarely see me do anything that does not communicate positive message. In fact, it's not me. I can't even remember me doing any artwork on that. My artwork brightens your day. In fact, I remember one client that told me one day that anytime he wakes up in the morning and sees my art, in fact, it makes his day. And he puts it just directly opposite his bed. So that is one thing about my art. I believe that no artwork has a private interpretation. You can't totally say, oh, this art means this to me. In fact, there was one particular artwork that I gave it a name, and somebody now gave it another name, now told me another thing you see in that artwork. Even me, I didn't see that. But when he pointed out those facts, I screamed. I said, wow, this is awesome. Other people are even seeing what I'm not seeing. And that is the beauty of the whole thing. That in one artwork can have like 10 different messages to 10 different people. That is awesome. That is phenomenal. For me, it is a plus. There are 3 types of wood that I use: Iroko, mahogany, yes, and pine wood. You know, if you know about wood, this wood, they have different colors and textures and reaction. So I use most of the time 3 of them to achieve beautiful pieces because of their color variation and all that, and the way they respond to tools. You know, that's why I choose those 3. Iroko is the hardest, followed by mahogany. Pine is softer, but pine has beautiful grains. When you look at the grain, well, when you polish it, awesome, beautiful. So of course I combine it. I use other technique in doing the work. The techniques I mean, carving, engraving, touching, and using fire to create some impression on wood. I drill, I cool saw, I saw. I do all manner of things with wood. In fact, if I would say Nigerian language, I do wood.
One of the very good attributes of Adire, apart from its ability to make a complete outfit, is that it's fashionable to complement an outfit with the likes of earrings, bangles, arts, bags, and of course, night footwears. Now, Adire, just like any other Ankara, gives room for itself to be used to make different kinds of things and has been in fashion up to recent times.
Adire is one of the medium and totality of African fashion expression and identity. It can easily be added to sync with the different theme and collection. The use of African prints is commercially viable with an Afrocentric appeal. It's part of the representation of our cultural heritage and who we are. It is indeed true to say accessories and home fittings embellished with Adire is a representation of creativity and innovation, one that is widely appreciated in Nigeria and beyond. Used by both African and Western designers, its beauty and versatility are enthralling.
Art is an expression of life. It's a gift inside. It's creativity. So it's a reflection of what you feel inside that you bring to the outward. And it means so many things to different people. To me, life, it means life. It means beauty. It means appreciating nature and God's work. For me, I use a lot of Adire, which is a product that is made from the western part of the country, of the Nigerian. And you know, Adire is something that has been old for a very, very long time. So I use it to express beauty and life. It's so colorful and it's rich. So I use them for interior to add that African heritage in your space. I don't just use only Adire. I also use other fabrics. But Adire, because it's Nigerian and I'm in Nigeria and I want to express my own heritage. I use them for Adire vertical blinds, window blinds, you know, which you can use for both homes and offices. I use them for the wine bag. As you can see here, you have the wine inside the bag to create that extra moment, excitement in your occasion. I also use them for dispenser cover. And you know, every one of us, we use dispenser in our home. So I just cover the dispenser. Sometimes you don't like the looks of the dispenser, so this kind of adds that color into your space, and many other things. You know, actually what I do is for people who love art and appreciate art. We're trying to see that a lot of expatriates and the diaspora, they come in and they want something made in Nigeria, not just any other country. They strictly want made in Nigeria so that they can take something that they love that is from Nigeria out. So that's where we came in, you know. And for me, each time I put on the adire or ashoke, which is our own heritage, they tend to appreciate it. Oh, I love this, I like the way it's made. So I'm kind of helping people to remember their culture. And so we are kind of doing things that depicts Africa and depicts Nigeria. And I'm emphasizing Nigerian because I'm a Nigerian. They are very accessible. You know, you can actually find them in the local markets because they are made there by artisans, old women, young, old. You know, it's been in existence over the years. Our forefathers started it. Even before the slavery, we were doing that to feed ourselves, to send our children to school before now. So it's now been back. Now that Nigeria is talking about made in Nigeria and trying to promote our own thing. In fact, this is the reason why we are bringing it out. And most times, people don't really want to wear them because they feel it's too busy. So we try to like mix them with some Western fabrics so that you appreciate the beauty the more. So that's the reason why we are doing that. And a lot of our artisans are crying that look, they make this product and nobody's buying, nobody's appreciating them. So I said, okay, instead of just making dresses, why not look at other areas that people can use them, see them and appreciate them. That's why I went into surveillance, so you can pick up gifts like ruffles, bangles and give to your friends maybe, and then you do your wine, you know, just these little things like that that you can just take around. Well, you know, I can actually, depending on the taste of the clients, if it's somebody that loves African, I may want to do the cushion with leather and then put a bit of adire stripes. And then I put the throw pillows by the side. I'll mix them with plain colors. I can use this bolster, then I use the round ones. Just mix the colors. Then I'll put the blind. Of course, there are the red blinds at the background, but I'll make sure it's not too colorful. I'll look at the paintings of the home. So when you're coming in, you can actually feel that African, Nigerian culture around you. But really, from my years of experience, I notice people don't really like it to be so loud. You just have the adire all over. That's why I'm saying that a lot of time we'll mix the Western plain fabrics with it so that you can really appreciate the beauty.
What is the problem? Please come to me.
You want to talk? Okay. So just dangerous, you women. You want to talk about anything and everything. Everything is talk. Like talking can solve the whole problems in this world. Talk and it will be alright. Sorted. Just like that. Huh? Alright, let's talk. Tell me what I don't know.
Where are you going?
I'm praying now so I can have some peace.
Didn't I say once? The way you
Hey,
you're not going anywhere, leave me alone.
Okay. I'll have dinner if that's just once. What's this anyway?
Come sit down.
Oh, rice again?
What's wrong with it?
I'm fed up. That is what is wrong.
It's your favorite jollof
I
rice.
still got the rice, and I have it every day.
No, you don't. Why haven't you said it before?
Can't you think? Why have to spend everything else doing capital letters before you get it? This is just what I have been saying. If it is not talk, it is trying to force food down one's throat.
Force it down your throat.
I said I wasn't hungry and you still insist. What else do you call about?
Ade, I can't believe you're saying this. I can't believe this. See, just do whatever you want to do and go wherever you want to go to. Madam, did you hear the bell ring? Sorry. What's the matter? What else? It's a day. just had an argument. You seem to have been having quite a few of them lately. They are telling me. I think just me. I don't know. What's the problem this time? He's always coming home late every night. He doesn't eat anything at home. That was meant to be a special dinner. I see. Do you think he started messing around again? Oh, I don't know. You never can tell anything to do with your day. At least some things are certain about your husband. It's either he's lowering his pants or he's busy doing nothing. And this one, you know, what really baffles me is how nice it can be one minute. You would think he was an angel, and then now he's a different person altogether. Like we didn't know that before we married together. That's the problem with us women. We always think we can change the men. Then find out at the peril of our own sanity that is not just possible. So, what do you intend to do now? Oh, I don't know. Look, it's either one or the other. So you can save your energy trying to figure out what it is. I really thought he had changed. Okay, can I just eat this food in peace? Rabbit na rabbit, oh. Whether I dey for inside house or for bush, a rabbit is always a rabbit. I know he's your husband. But you remember that woman? Yes, I remember. The last one he was caught shagging in the lift. Maybe we should have just allowed our husbands to chop his jetty up. That might have solved the problem once and for all. And this one, well, from the look of things, you don't seem to be getting much of it anyway. So what's the problem? But that's what the people just... you know me! I don't mess around. I go for the jugular. If Sass tries to get up to any silly tricks, the thought of what I would do to him would make that thing go limp. You don't have anything to worry. Sass is as good as they come. You can hear him. It is the quiet ones you have to watch. The are they tight? You can read from a mile. Sass wouldn't do anything. He does not have to. They are falling on.
To be honest, a lot of things. I was still a student then when I wrote the play. You know, I've always had the urge in me to write. Probably something I inherited from my father, you know. But, you know, it was actually, I needed to express myself, you know. But humor was, you know, and comedy is one of the things that really attracts me. And the play Sour Carrots was actually based on some kind of, loosely based on an incident, you know, that took place while we were still students, you know. So, yeah. And at the time, too, I wanted to produce something that we could, among a company that I just set up, yes, for us, some work that we could do. I was living in the UK at that time, and there wasn't any work that we felt that we could do, you know, at the time. So yeah, so that's how Sour Carrots was born.
Yes, and it's important. I wonder what you're doing on this picture. Okay. Are you sure no one has told you?
Oh, God. You receive many important calls this day. So I don't know which one is more important or less important. As you can see, I just got back home myself.
You are dressed.
Am I? Okay.
Oh, okay. You are not planning one of those opposing students again.
Planning? I don't even have the brains to think, let alone plan anything. In fact, I'm going out.
You are what?
You heard me.
To where?
Maybe we'll start off with dancing at the freedom and then some drinks at the shrine and
Okay. Come again.
You heard me. I said maybe we'll start off with dancing at the freedoms and then some drinks at the shrine and only God knows where we'll end up.
Okay. Are you playing with me or am I hearing right?
I am damn serious.
Yeah, my name is Shegun Adefila. I'm the artistic director of Crown Troupe of Africa, and courtesy of the British Council and Freedom Park, we're here to present James Enshaw's Sour Carrots. It's not the kind of play, it's not the kind of work we do. Those who are conversant with the kind of works Crown Troupe does, they've been asking me that they couldn't sell our signature because it's not our style of play. But then it was, we found it a bit intriguing and, you know, also a kind of pleasure to go into a zone that we are not known for. The play is kind of melodramatic, it is domestic if you saw the play, It's about infidelity and marriage and all of those things that people do out there. I mean, we do out there, or people do out there, or you do out there, you know. And the idea of the play is to just to dissect and go into the mindset of all the principal players, which is you and I, why we do the things we do and the import of the things we do. The play would not have been possible if, for instance, the playwright didn't write that kind of play. It wouldn't have been possible if British Council did not support it and produce it. It wouldn't have been possible if Freedom Park did not provide the space for us to do it. So to all these people, we want to say a very big thank you, and we hope you enjoyed it.
I can't remember when last we had one. I was quite fancy one myself.
Okay.
Come on, girls, let's party! What was that all about? Oh, don't worry, it's okay. Make yourself comfortable. Thank you. I thought we were late. Late? You were just right on time. Oh, yeah. And Sam, won't you get your wife? Oh, yeah. I'm listening.
I'm in the kitchen right now.
Oh, but you don't treat your guests that way.
Okay. Did you know what this plan are?
No, you don't.
Get them out of this place.
Oh, what play, eh? Let's see if you've got the ball. You know what, man? I'm really going to enjoy it. I still don't get what's going on here. Oh, don't worry, darling. It's fine. Relax. Please. It's kind of strange. It wasn't what we were expecting. It wasn't what our day was expecting either. And what was he expecting? I would like to know myself. But anyway, now what do I offer? Anything will do. Let's say what? But there is everything. Oh, really? Yeah. There's something I quite like. Oh, David, I can tell
This kind of story, because it's a very mischievous play, actually, and it's got so many subtexts in it. You know, yes, people can laugh, but it's really a comment on marriage, it's a comment on society and all that. The first draft actually didn't have that message, but as I kept rewriting it, and I kept seeing the moral of the story and all that kept emerging, you know. So yeah, so that's really how the story came about. Yeah, but it wasn't something that just comes and says, oh yes, I'm going to write a story on marriage, or I'm going to write a story that will make people laugh, you know. It's something that comes, and as you develop it, the story will come out itself if there's something there to be told, you know. Yeah.
Is Sakarot your only story, only play?
No, it's not the only play. It was the first one that I sat down to write. I've been writing sketches before, but it is the first one that has actually developed into a story. But based on Sour Carrots, I won an Arts Council award in the UK, an award to write a play, which was called Today Will Not Be Yesterday, and that was based on slavery, you know. And then I've moved on to write other things here, but my last play really is a play called The Re-Education of Gina Obi, and it's another comedy. It's very funny, but it's an insidious attack on the education system in Nigeria, so that's why it's called The Re-Education of Gina Obi. Yeah. But for me, I find that through humor you can actually put things out that are quite serious, you know, and it will have more power than actually trying to come across as if you're telling a story in that kind of sense.
Should we be expecting anything again from the show?
Obviously, I'm writing a new play again, and it's called it's a strange one. It's called Oh, What a Wonderful Country. You can get the hints from there what that's about. Yes. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I really want to thank Crown Troop for helping to put on this performance, because this place finally come home. It was written far away from home, but nice in Nigeria, and I really feel very happy that it's been aired in Lagos. Thank you, brilliant stuff.
You people really make me sick. Thank you.
See my phone. She marches out into the dark to be enveloped by darkness as if that was where she had come from. It's all right. Please, take me to a place I've never been before. Yes, take me away and make the man out of me.
Hey! See me, see my doctor! I go hopeless, I go doctor. My nose, eh? Put my hand. Hey. You want to be a good? I come here. Come on, Andy.
Davi once said, art is a necessity, an essential part of our enlightenment process. We cannot, as a civilized society, regard ourselves as enlightened without the arts. And that's our package on today's episode of the show. My name is Tolulope Lamidi. As we always say, art is life, so keep living in the arts.